Steep roof. This has been a very big roof to do by me and one person. A lot of times people ask questions on how to cut dormers. I've done that inside a video, so this will be a separate video on if you just want to go to that. So a lot of times you have varying angles. So what we're trying to do is figure out how to get the angle transferred and then fasten where we need to be. First of all, on your valley, once it's fastened, of course you want to fasten those way back from where your metal might come through underneath, or in that case, so I've got the screw way up here, and here's where we mark 4 inches to here. You can go to 6. In this case, we're going to 4, so you want to be back beyond that with your screws that hold that in place. Then you mark your mark at 4 or 6 back, and we start from there. Now we've got our metal coming from there to here. You can't always count on the framing on the soffit and fascia or the roofing to be square. So you want to try to catch it as you go along. Hey, I'm running out of square. You want to squeeze the top in to get the bottom to swing around, or squeeze the top. You know, you can do squeeze the top in, lapping it over a little bit more, and pull on this side, and you'll gain the 1/8 inch there and the 1/8 inch down here, or even sometimes as much as a quarter. It's a lot if you do a quarter. I'd recommend you do it 1/8 at a time, so you can get more square as you notice it, as if you're not doing rake and corner on the face of it. In this case, we're not. If you're doing rake and corner, then you can get square to begin with, and a lot of times you can tell with the how it's running on the shingles, one side's going to be deeper than the other side. Now back to the angles. Now we've made our mark on our valley, which it has that rib in the center to make it a valley, and then we go, I need to know what the bottom is, so I'm going to put a 4-foot level across here, and where that intersection is right about a 1/4 inch, 3/8 of an inch, maybe a 1/2, right there. Okay, so then I can take a tape measure, it's really steep. All right, got everything locked in so it don't fall off. Now we're going to measure from this side of, because remember we're lapping, and then that 1/2 inch from. Looks about 15. All right, so now we know the bottom is going to go over 15 inches, and that's where our angle is going to start. And I'll take you with me. Now, I usually have a small cutoff piece, so I can get, and I want to use the factory square edge. And what we're going to do is find out where this corner, the outside corner, hits on that line, and we're going to slide it up with this sitting, you know, solid on that rib to find a square. It's just another reason why it's important to be as square as possible. See how I'm coming down to this 4-inch mark right here? Right there, and I'm sitting square on that. Okay, and then I'm gonna mark right there. Remember, now from this bottom edge where we're going to lap to this mark is how much I got to go up on that side. 28.5. Okay, remember we were 15 across, and then we're going to go 28.5 up to get our angle. So let's go down there and do that. You can shut it off. All right, so we're starting where it laps over that other rib up there. And then we're gonna go over $15. Now, if you're working by yourself, this is really handy to do. You go ahead and make yourself a little slit like that. That way you can pop the line to where we're going to next. All right, 28.5, if you remember, we measured up from that square over on this outside edge. Now, you can either do a 4-foot level, like so. Make sure we're on both marks. Or you can do a chalk line from here to there, particularly if it's a really long cut. This is pretty long. I'm getting a lot of complaints from my less experienced cohorts that 26 gauge is hard to cut, and it is. But it's good to have a new set of snips. These are Wiss, which open a little bit deeper. W-I-S-S. Home Depot sells them. I've been using Wiss for a long time. I've tried other brands, including Craftsman's, on. Wiss just seems to do better. I don't like the new lock that they put on them. It's getting in my way a lot. Just like I don't like locks on tape measures because I've gotten used to them not having it. So anyway, the biggest thing, the sharp snips, and you're contributing to that cut by you holding down on one side and pulling up on another. So you're pulling up and you're holding down. Literally trying to tear the sheet. This is 26 gauge, not 29 gauge, so it's much heavier. You can see how that tore? It wants to tear. You're just encouraging it with these where you want it to tear. Using straights, because most of the time I'm cutting straight lines. You can use left hand and right hand and cut straight. The problem with that is that it put your hand on one side or the other instead of in the middle. When I'm right-handed, I tend to be on the right side, but I can tilt and still cut straight. Whereas if I had right hand or left hands, I won't be able to tilt because I'm already more on that side. But there'll be people who argue about that. It's been my experience, and I'm just trying to help you understand. So now we cut this angle, 28.5 here, 15 here, and we're going to take it up and we're going to put it in place. All right, now we're putting it in place. Everything's right on. Clay mentioned that, you know, people might get fussy, but when we went to Home Depot, we had probably 20 right hands, 20 left hands. They were sold out of straight, so I'm not the only one that thinks straights are the way to go for overall. It's good to have left hand, right hand when you're cutting corners that direction in a round way. But more power to you if you can figure out how to do it otherwise. So now I'm going to screw all this off. If this was a real long angle, okay, I would do that square piece again, and then I would measure from that point to measure up to that mark. But in this case, it's short, so I'm actually able to measure across the top and measure up for my length. That's my mark for on the right hand side, from that point to that point, and then the over, since it's less than 37 inches wide, which is what these panels are. Now I'm going to put screws in this because I'm going to come back and pull the screws out and put the foam in. I don't want to open up those foam, the valley closure until I'm ready to do them all. And the reason is because it just keeps on expanding. It doesn't wait for you a day or two later to come by, because then it's just totally huge. So I'll take you through that. I think I have on several other videos that I've done. But this is the situation we're in. It's really steep, really slick on the metal. When you're working by yourself, please be careful. Even if you're working with somebody, be careful. You don't want to be hungover, because that's the same as drunk and then you're not in your faculties. You don't want to be high. A lot of roofers are drinkers and drug users, and they fall off the roof and they get hurt, and they don't have no workman's comp because they were testing dirty. And I know why you do it, because there's a lot of pain. You don't last very long in this if you do this trade all the time, same as concrete work and a number of other jobs out there. God bless you all. I don't want to do it all the time. The heat is horrible, and concrete and roofing is hard on your body. Probably carpet, another one, hard on certain sections of your body, and high injury rates. There's a number of others, guys. Please be careful with yourselves. Pace yourself, because life is a marathon and every day is an adventure. So hopefully I helped you with that, and I'll see you another time.